Hey guys, it's Olivia. So today I'm going to be telling you what my phone interview was like for the Disney College Program Fall 2016 application process. But first off, do you like my ears? I made them this weekend since I've been home for spring break. They are Pooh Bear inspired, but they remind me of Beauty and the Beast a little bit too, and I figure they'll be good for Christmas as well. Let me know what you think of my ears. Start off some important things. Disney, when they email you the time of your phone interview, they tell you that your recruiter, can call you up to 15 minutes before or 15 minutes after your scheduled time. I believe I was 1 o'clock on a Wednesday. My person called it 1:03 or 1:04, but I was ready by 12:45. So definitely make sure you're in a quiet place. Make sure you text. If you're in your apartment, text your roommate. Also, make sure right away when you pick up the phone, make sure you write down your interviewer's name. So mine was named Lynn, and then if you can use her name throughout the conversation, that's great. It's kind of so nerve-wracking that I forgot to do that. But definitely at the end, when they say any questions, have a magical day, make sure you say thank you, Lynn, for taking the time to interview me. Also, if you have, watched tons of phone interview videos, like I know I did, you're gonna want to take notes on, the questions, and post tape them up on your wall or on your desk or wherever you're going to be having your phone interview. Make sure you have those available to you. Definitely don't, write out paragraphs and read it word for word, but definitely have thought about the questions. Have bullet points there in case you freeze up during it, which I hope you don't, but have that there. And also make sure to put sticky notes everywhere that say smile. You sound a lot different whether you're on the phone talking to someone when you're smiling than when you are straight faced, so definitely make sure to smile. Okay, so now the actual phone interview. So my recruiter called, and first off we just started with a bunch of yes or no questions. Things like, are you an international student studying abroad on a visa? No, I am not. Do you currently attend the University of California, Davis? Yes, I do. So different things like that, just kind of verifying your information. Then the next thing they'll ask, if you wrote on your application that you speak a foreign language, they will ask you about that. So for example, I wrote that I am conversational in Spanish and am beginning in German. So she said, I see you wrote blah, blah, blah on your application. Please tell me more about the experience you've had with those languages. And then they'll say, okay, are you, so when you get the job, when you come down to Disney, are you willing to take an oral exam? Forget the exact wording, but basically once you get there, you take an exam, and if you speak conversational or fluent enough in that language, and they'll put a special little pin on your name tag that lets people know that oh, I speak Spanish. Sorry guys, I am sick. As soon as I got home, I've had this really bad cold. Yesterday and the day before really bad, but today's a little bit better. But I just took my medicine a couple minutes ago, so it hasn't kicked in yet. So yeah, sorry about that. So I believe next after that, she went over the jobs that I stated on my application. I wrote down my jobs as high school cheerleading coach, because that was my current job. College cheerleader. And then also I was a barista / cashier the summer before college. So I wrote that down as well. She started with the cheerleading and asked me what my responsibilities are, what I've learned from it for being a coach. This is when the situational question started. So she asked me, have I ever had a difficult customer? And then she asked me if I had ever been in an emergency situation before and how I would handle that. And I told her, no, I've never been in an emergency situation before, but if I was in one, I would stay calm. I would make sure the guests around me stayed calm, and I would alert my manager and wait for instructions. So yeah, some people have comments on my video saying oh, I've never had a job, I've only had volunteer experience, is that okay? I think it is okay, because when they do ask you these questions, they say if you've ever had a difficult guest, how would you deal with that? Or if you've ever been in an emergency situation, how would you deal with that? So you don't necessarily have to have been in those situations, but still think, okay, what would I do in this situation? Oh, also around this point, they asked me if I was familiar with the Disney look and if I had any tattoos or piercings. So yes, I am familiar with the Disney look. I personally do not have any tattoos or piercings, so I said no. So we skipped right over that question. And then I believe she started asking me about individual roles. So for roles, my top roles I put were character performer and character attendant. Moderate interest, I put front desk and attractions. Low interest, bibbidi boppidi boutique and merchandise. And I did get merchandise, which I am honestly thrilled about. I am so happy. But so she started asking me, I think merchandise was the first thing she asked me about. She asked me just a general question, basically, would you be comfortable stocking shelves, working with customers, handling money, all that stuff. Yes, I'd be very comfortable. And then for Bibbidi Boppidi Boutique, she asked me, sometimes little girls are shy, how would you, how would you not handle it? How would you go about that situation to make them feel more comfortable? And then attraction, she asked me, you're going to be sometimes you'll be saying a long speech and saying it, 200 times a day. Would you be comfortable with that? Yes, I'd be very comfortable with that. I kind of wish that for these answers, I didn't just say, yes, I'd be comfortable, or no. I don't know, I wish I would have talked a little bit more. But at the time, I actually, videotaped, on my webcam, I videotaped the phone interview. I'm not going to put it up, but it was just for me so I could see how I did. Because right after I finished my phone interview, I was like, oh my gosh, I tanked this, I did terrible. I blabbed on and on and on about certain things, oh my gosh, I totally tanked it. But then I looked back at the video, and I did fine, and the things that I thought that I had spoken for 5 minutes on, I literally said 2 sentences about it. Yeah, it's nerve-wracking when you phone interview, but yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, I wish I would have said more things, and then the next thing she asked me about was character performer auditions, and she said, I see you have interest in being a character performer. We do require a separate audition for that. Would you be comfortable in auditioning? And I told her, yes, I'd be very comfortable with that. In the past years, the San Francisco college program audition has always been the 2nd or 3rd week of March. So I blocked out those dates, and I'm ready to go to San Francisco and audition. And she was like, okay, let me look up the dates, the actual, correct date so I can give it to you. So, okay. She looked it up, and she goes, I don't see a San Francisco audition this year. I was just like, uh-oh. And then she goes, oh, they're actually not going to California at all. And my face in the video, I'm like I was so shocked because I've never done that before. So she was like, yeah, in the years past, they have, gone all over the United States. They've done, Phoenix, LA, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle, Salt Lake. They've gone all over, but, she was like, yeah, it seems like this week they're just doing it in, it was a 10-day time span, I believe, maybe 2 weeks, and, 10 cities. Something like that. But it was, really short time span, and she was like, there is a Seattle audition on March. Oh, and the dates changed too. First, Seattle was supposed to be on a Saturday, and Phoenix was going to be on a Tuesday. And then, Seattle was going to be on a Sunday, and then Phoenix was going to be on a Tuesday. Luckily, I didn't book plane tickets right after this, because a couple weeks later, the dates changed, so Seattle was on the Friday a couple days before, and Phoenix was on that Sunday. Anyway, so she was like, yeah, basically the closest ones to are Seattle or Phoenix. Do you think that would work for you? And, asked for the dates of them. And I was like, well, I think the Seattle one might work, actually. So she wrote my name down for both audition cities, because, I didn't know which one yet. I had to obviously talk to my parents, see if they would, be okay with, now, instead of a 1.5 hour drive to San Francisco, a flight up to Seattle or down to Phoenix, plus hotel, all that stuff. Luckily, they were, totally fine with that. They know I've wanted this for so long. And I also like have a chance at character. I don't know if I'll get it this year. I definitely think I have a chance. And if I don't get it this time, I think I can get it next time. So yeah, they luckily said yes. I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, so during my phone interview, I felt like this was a good sign because we talked about character performer auditions for like 2 to 3 minutes. And 2 to 3 minutes out of a 22-minute conversation, that's a big chunk. So I was kind of feeling good, thinking that like, okay, obviously if she's spending like this long to talk about something that will happen in the future, something that like I need to be accepted for to even be considered for a character performer, like this obviously like that has to be a good sign, because if you definitely knew that someone was like that you weren't gonna pass them through, like I don't know, if I was a recruiter and there was someone I knew was not right for the program, I would not spend 3 minutes trying to figure out which audition city was closest, which ones they feel more comfortable with, etc. So I took that as a good sign. So talk about that for a minute, and then she asked me about front desk. She said, I remember exactly, I think it was like, what do you feel is the most important part of front desk? So I answered, and then for character attendant, she asked me like a situational type of question too, asked me about, you know, if I had to close a line for a certain character, what would I say? And at this point, I really wish I would have told her, well, and then she asked me, like, the interview was coming to an end, and she asked me, what roles I was most qualified for. I really wish at this point I would have told her that, you know, as a college cheerleader, my favorite part was when I was paired with Gunrock, who's our mascot, and, you know, was able to take him around to different community events, be there when little kids want to take pictures of him, or make sure he didn't trip over anything if we were in new territory. So I really wish I had told her that. I was kind of flustered and didn't get a chance to tell her that, because I really wanted to be a character attendant, but I didn't get it, which is fine. I understand. It's a very small role. I think like 30 people got accepted for it. So, but yeah, I really wish I would have told her that I do have experience with that, and like that was my favorite part about being a college cheerleader. That and little face tattoos. Yeah, I really wish I would have said that. So definitely, if there's something that you want to say, something that you think is relevant, make sure you say it. So yeah, I think when she said what role you're most qualified for, I think I just said my top 3 roles. Which, yeah, I don't know if that was a mistake or not, but that's what I did. And then, yeah, she said I'll be hearing back by April 15th. On that day. Thank you, Lynn, for taking the time to talk to me today. And yeah, that was my phone interview. Some of the questions that I had prepared for that I thought they were going to ask, which they didn't, was, would you prefer a team or an independent setting? Would you prefer working indoors or outdoors? Name your busiest day at work. I feel like there were more, but there were several, like, 3 to 6 questions that I had prepared for that they had always asked before that they didn't ask this time. Oh, a question she did ask, which I forgot to mention, was, how will this internship help you professionally? That's been the question for the last, probably 2 years. Before that, it was, why do you want to do the Disney college program? And I think people just kept answering, oh, Disney's so close to my heart, so many good memories. But this is a college internship program. They want to help you, get ahead, whether it's, networking within their company or just having experience with this world-renowned business. So yeah, that was a phone interview. It lasted 22 minutes long. I applied on Tuesday, January 12th, I believe. That's the day applications dropped. I did my web-based interview that night. And then that night I also scheduled my phone interview. And I scheduled it for the next Wednesday, so January 20th. And then I got accepted Monday, February 22nd. I think whatever that Monday is, around that time. So yeah, that's when I got accepted. The first wave had started on Friday, and I didn't get accepted during that wave, but I got accepted on Monday. So that was good. So yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment below if you have any questions about the phone interview, or if you're going to be applying soon. Also comment below, tell me how you like my ears. How you think they turned out? I think they turned out great. I absolutely love them, and I'm so happy with how they turned out. Make sure you subscribe for more videos. Like I said, I am doing the Disney College program for fall 2016, so I'll definitely be making videos during that. And yeah, if you have any video requests, comment that below as well. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and remember to keep dreaming out loud. See you guys next time. Bye!